How are you? Okay, a little bit louder. How's everybody doing? Good, there we go. I have a lot of energy, so we're going to have a lot of fun today. So, let's get started.
Okay, let's start by having you tell a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Lisa Thompson. I'm the founder of Self Love Beauty. Our mission is to empower women one story at a time so that they know that they're not alone on their journey to self-love and confidence. I started this blog when I was 22 years old, and I'm currently 27, so it's been about 5 years. This is just a part-time job for me. I actually work full-time in public relations. I'm a spin instructor, and then I do part-time nonprofit work in marketing over in Haiti. So if you ever want to learn about public relations, anything with nonprofits or anything, I'm happy to help. I'm from the thumb of Michigan, so North Branch. I don't know if you guys know where that's at. Small town, lots of fields. I went to Michigan State for communications and public relations. So I have been working 6 years full-time in public affairs, living in Texas, Philly, and then back to Michigan.
Please share a little bit.
Here. Does that help?
Please share a little bit with us what drove your passion for women's empowerment.
So the reason that I started the blog and I have so much passion for women empowerment is because when I started working for a company, and I think throughout my whole life, I was having confidence issues, self-love issues, and I was watching a lot of women around me feel that exact same way. And I really wanted to empower them to feel loved, to have confidence in their dreams. And so I started this blog to share my story of everything that I was going through at the age of 22. So I had started, I would just moved to Texas for the first time, and I didn't know anybody. So I had always grown up in a small town. Ooh, I shoved up. Sorry. I just started, and hold on, I'm gonna get this real quick before I continue to talk. And I was going through a really hard time in my life where I was trying to find new friends. I was trying to find who I was. And instead of sitting down and feeling bad for myself, I started to write about everything. And I started to meet people and try to feel empowered to share my story to help other people. So women empowerment is really important for me because I want to help other people be inspired to be the best self they can be.
Why did you start Self Love Beauty?
So I started Self Love Beauty because I was going through a really hard time in my life, like I said, where I didn't have self-love, and I really wanted to impact the people around me. So I bet all of you guys have had a time in your life where you didn't love yourself, where you looked in the mirror and thought, I look disgusting. And I actually heard some of you guys say that in the bathroom when I was changing. So I think we've all said that, where we've looked at ourselves and didn't love ourselves. And that was me at 22. I was always told that I had a lot of confidence, but I think that was always something that I put on a face for. And I think a lot of us have to do that sometimes in our lives. So writing is something that I really, really have a passion for. And so I started writing about every experience I had: heartbreak, weight loss, going through transitions in my life. And then I was starting to meet people who were going through the exact same thing as me. And I learned that it wasn't just me going through it. And that kept the blog going. It kept me passionate because, as you guys all know, you have a story. And the more that you can help other people, they're going to be inspired to share their stories. And it's the ripple effect of helping everybody around you.
Isn't she great? Like, she gets so excited when she talks. So what is Self-Love Beauty? Like, what exactly is your brand and how do you use this to impact other women?
Yeah, so my blog Self-Love Beauty started as a blog 5 years ago, like I said. And from there, it has grown to have over 100 guest bloggers. So if any of you guys ever want to write, you're more than welcome to join. We have an ambassador program of over 50 women who showcase their stories to everybody on social media. We have a beautiful me collection. I started a shirt line last year. It's a pop-up shop right outside to showcase different shirts for women to express who they are. And so that was really important for me. And then last year in March was the first time I ever did a Beautiful Me campaign, which means that I go across Michigan, I've been to New York and a few other places, and I've done a photo shoot with a variety of different women, ages 2 months to, I think I had a 75-year-old woman. So a variety of different women showcasing all shapes and sizes, because I think it's really important for women to know that they're beautiful at every age of their life and that self-love is really a journey.
What does self-love mean to you?
So self-love means to me being on a journey. So I think a lot of people think that self-love means once you have it, it's always there. It never goes away. And people always think as the founder of Self-Love Beauty, that means that I have it all the time. Well, that's not true at all. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, there are very hard days for all of us where we have to face really hard times in our lives where we don't love ourselves, and it's working through those. I think self-love is loving everything about yourself, even on the bad days, and knowing that it's a journey. So if you have a bad day, you know that the next day you're gonna wake up and it's gonna be a whole brand new day and you can love yourself all over again.
What are some ways you feel that we could incorporate women's empowerment in our daily lives, like school, workplace, etc.?
Okay, so this is where I'm gonna bring you guys in. So can everybody raise their hand if they've ever been bullied? Can you raise your hand if you've never felt self-love? What about, have you ever had a moment in your life where another girl has hurt your feelings? Now everybody gets chuckling on that one. What about a time when a man has made you feel a little lower? Men, you can raise your hands too if you've ever felt that. So as you guys can see, you guys have all felt that way at one point. You have with bullying. You have with other people hurting you. And women's empowerment, or empowerment in general for the men in the room, is all about helping change that. So I'm going to talk about bullying real quick because I think I have a very, very strong stance on this one. And there's bullying where it's physical, but there's also a lot of silent bullying that happens. And I think these two things is where you guys can come into play and really help change that. You see it, stand up for each other. Empowerment is standing up for yourself, and it's standing up for other people. And then speak up, but listen. I think that right now society is telling a lot of us we have a voice finally. You know, we're talking, we're able to share all of our opinions, but then we forget to listen to everybody else's opinions too. So if you want to be heard, you have to be okay with hearing other people's opinions. And it's okay if you don't always agree, but it's having that empowerment to share your opinion. And then for the girls hurting each other, you all raised your hand. You all did. You know how it feels when someone makes you feel small. So I really, really encourage you to take this moment to think about those moments and not do it to another person. You guys are the generation that get to continue to grow and be on that screen next time a whole bunch of kids are sitting here, being those empowering people. And if someone like a man has ever made you feel that way, I know men towards men towards women, vice versa, same thing. You know how it felt. So you can be that change. And women empowerment is all about taking a stance. I know that there's more times than not where you see it in broad on social media where a lot of famous people are taking a stance. But you guys can do that right here. You guys can be the change in your own community. You're all going to be going to college soon, and you're going to be going through transitions, and that's another chance for you to make an impact.
So there's a lot of attention on women in the media right now, so it's definitely a great time to use our empowerment to our advantage. So how do you feel a great way for us to capitalize on all the attention going on right now?
So I think because there's so much attention around it, there's a lot of good and bad for it. And I think that instead of, first off, always have your own opinion. I think that's really, really important. Be kind, and then learn. I think that now is a time where you guys all get to learn from it. And because the generation, my generation, the generation above me, is voicing our opinions and showing what we've gone through, we don't want you guys to go through that. So That's where you guys need to learn from everything that we've gone through to make that change. And not just sit on the sidelines and be like, well, it's just gonna happen to me again. No, like be the change. It's super, super easy for you to be that one person that makes a change for someone else's life. I can't sit here and say that, you'll change 1 million lives. I have no idea what we'll be doing, but I do know that you can look across the room to another person and you could change their life right now, just by everything that's happening with society and the empowerment opportunities that you guys have.
Have you ever faced equality issues in your workplace or personal life, and how did you overcome them?
This is one of my favorite questions. So I started, like I said, I've been in public relations for about 6 years. And when I first started, so I started at 21 in a company, and I was going through, transitions of learning how the workforce worked, and I worked with 3 men. They were outstanding. They gave me the expertise, they trusted me, they made me part of the team right away. 6 months later, I moved to a new job, and I was working under a woman. And she challenged me so hard. I remember crying to my parents saying, I'm gonna become a nurse, I'm going to nursing school. And I'm a public relations person, so I was going on the whole other spectrum just because I wanted completely out. And my parents were like, no, someone's challenging you to be the best person you can be. And I think sometimes when we look at it, women workforce is both men, women, and women and women. And so this person was actually challenging me to be the better person, and we are now best friends. She is phenomenal. She is now one of my mentors. And then I had her for about 3 years where we worked together. And then I moved on to 5 other men. And again, I was challenged, but in a way that I wasn't respected. And I want everybody to hear this in the room because I think it's super important for you to understand that you have a voice. And I felt so low. I went through a really hard time at work where I actually had someone make me feel like I had no confidence in myself. So I went from having men make me feel like an expert. I had a woman that challenged me. And then I went on to having to go through a really hard time where it was 6 months of me working till midnight every night trying to prove myself. I was working crazy hours. I was trying to prove myself. And what I realized was my confidence was lacking because I allowed someone else's feelings towards me to embrace everything that I was. And so what I did is I found a mentor. I confided in someone who was a male at my work, and I went to him and I said, I'm having these issues, what should I do? And he shared with me that he believed in me, he had confidence in me, and we found 4 ways in which I could change up how I worked. And from there on out, it has been nothing but good things for me. And I really, really think that you're going to have issues in your workforce. It's going to happen. And that's okay as long as you believe in yourself and your skill set to be the best person that you want to be in the office and confidence in the workforce.
All right, so what is some advice you have for young women in reaching their full potential?
I would say to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. I heard that the other day, and I feel like that's been sticking with me a lot lately, that you want to reach your full potential, then you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. It's not always easy, and it's really hard, and I will sit here and tell you there were more times than not I wanted to quit Self-Love Beauty. I have a full-time job. This is my side job. But I love everything about it. As you can tell from my voice, I'm like super passionate about self-love. And be uncomfortable with the uncomfortable. And then another motto I have is fearless. If I am starting to be fearful of something, I should probably go after it because it's going to get me out of my comfort zone. And all of you guys in this room can meet your full potential. One piece of advice that I have always tried to remember was writing down my goals and looking back at them and always trying to strive for them. Because it's really easy to sit here and be like, oh, I'll start that in a week. I'll start that in a month. That's my future goal in 30 years. But it can happen. It can all happen. And I don't know what everybody's career visions are, but if you continue to reach for the stars, you're going to get there.
In your opinion, how can we help break down barriers for women in the workforce?
Help each other. point blank, help each other, stand up for each other, and stand up for yourself. I know those sound really, really simple, but when you're in a room with people with different personalities, I mean, you guys all have different personalities right here. It's really hard to stand up for everything that you believe in, and it's really hard sometimes to stand up for other people, but I can tell you right now in a workforce that I've been in, even when I work in self-love beauty, having people around me that stand up for each other is so admirable. It is one quality that I think is just beautiful. And I would really encourage you guys to do it. Male, female, it doesn't matter what gender you are, it doesn't matter what age, size, anything. You guys can help each other by standing up for each other.
What impact have you seen in our region since launching Self-Love Beauty?
We've had some fun. I've had some fun with it. So I've been doing Self-Love Beauty, 4 years in total in the Great Lakes Bay region. And so I have over 50 ambassadors, and half of them are from the Great Lakes Bay region. We do the Beautiful Me campaign, and we did about 12 photo shoots this year, and over 6 of them were in the Great Lakes Bay region. We actually just did one on Tuesday, and we had people of all ages coming together, so it was a lot of fun. I've honestly just seen the impact of the ripple effect. And I say that as in we've had people of all ages being able to impact each other. They read our blog, they're inspired to have self-love and confidence, and then they're able to help other people, which I find super inspiring.
As a student, what is the first step we can take into getting more involved?
If you guys want to get involved with Self-Love Beauty, I'm always taking guest bloggers. If you're interested in writing, if you're not, we have a lot of people in our ambassador program. You can join that. You can meet with me after, and I can explain all the details for that. And honestly, what I really want you guys to do is have self-love and confidence in yourself, and I want you to help each other. I think that you guys are going to rock this world. I have so much faith in all of you guys just because you're already here. You came to this session, so you wanted to learn something. And take that for a grain of salt and do great things. And self-love beauty is always going to be an area where you can go back to relate to people and know that you're not alone on your journey to self-love and confidence.
As a society, what additional pressure do you think is put on women compared to men in the workplace?
That's a hard question to answer. There is a lot of pressures, and I think right now there's a lot of equality with pay, with job levels, with not feeling fair, and those are pressures that I feel still to this day. And one thing that I've really, really worked on is making sure that I fight those issues. And if I'm feeling a certain way, there's probably like 5 other women or men that are feeling a certain way too. And so what I do is I become an ambassador for all of us. I share my story. I tell them that they should share their story. And as a whole, we can make a very big difference. But I also think too, one thing that we do a lot of is we fill our minds with all of this, well, they have this, I don't have this. But imagine if we took away all of that from our brains and we focused on what we have in front of us, our skill sets. You could go for the moon. If you filled all of that space with other things besides self-doubt and lack of confidence and believing that everybody has everything better than you, because the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And you all have a skill set that someone else probably doesn't have. You all have a purpose in life. You all have a passion in life that not everybody might have. And so I can sit here right now and say that you don't want me to be your nurse. You don't want me to be your dentist or your doctor. But there's probably some of you guys in here that should be doing that because you have that purpose and passion. And so, breaking down all the society barriers and believing in yourself, we need you.
Okay, so that was our last question.